Currently in the world, there are over 1 billion people living on less than $1.25 a day.
The world is an increasingly unstable place.
Food prices right now are at their highest point ever in the past few decades. They're spiraling out of control.
Natural disasters are affecting more and more people as populations grow.
The AIDS pandemic is still there. The rates are still rising in many countries. You have a situation where people are becoming desperate.
I think we're simply called to respond.
It's not about just dumping off food, but it's actually walking with people in these communities over a long period of time in relationship.
Our understanding of human poverty is that it's all broken relationships. Families with family members, communities with other communities.
And if we don't heal these broken relationships, we're gonna be always poor.
What's exciting about our programs is that we intentionally create them to be relational.
You can't get inside a community and just bring what you have. You need to approach a community and say, what are your needs?
You are creating in them a capacity to resolve their own problems.
Our approach to this work is harder than dropping off a load of food. It's a lot more difficult. But we recognize that people are complex. Our relationships to God can be very complex. But we know that that's what works.
We have 3 core areas that we're focused on. And the first is walking with churches and leaders. We can work with one leader and help that leader to catch a vision for what his or her community can become. Then that we've seen can transform the community very quickly because they have a lot of influence. We walk with churches because they are one of the most important organizations in many of the communities that we work in. A lot of places that we go to, that's the only place where people are coming together socially to try to make a positive difference in the community.
As a Christians, we have a lot to say about the different needs in the community. When churches understand that, the impact is bigger and more sustainable.
And as a result of that, we've seen churches grow tremendously. The second core focus of Food for the Hungry is on walking with families.
The Bible teaches that the basic unit of society is the family.
That is where you find children who are the most vulnerable in any society.
We see children as the key thermometer of how well a community is doing.
The needs of children are water, health and nutrition, education, and as we address those, we're benefiting the wider community.
We can see a tremendous amount of impact that starts in the family, bubbles over into the community, and then actually can have an impact on the nation. The third core area that Food for the Hungry is focused on is walking with people through adversity.
When disaster strikes, you need to respond quickly and you need to respond at scale.
Now, we're not the biggest organization on the block, but what we do bring to a disaster is, again, this idea of relationship. When buildings collapse and people are rescued, those people have nowhere to go to. They don't have a job, they don't have food, they don't have a house to go back to. And Food for the Hungry wants to walk with them for a period of time. When a lot of organizations start to pull out, Food for the Hungry is usually the organization that stays on.
Food for the Hungry has 2,000 staff all over the world, over 95% of which are from those countries. That's the strength of FH in getting our work done in some of the most incredibly difficult contexts on the planet.
We have the right plan, we have the right people, we have the desire, and we are committed.
And as you walk with Food for the Hungry, you'll find, as I have, that you become transformed.
That it's not only us walking with churches, leaders, and families, but it's churches, leaders, and families in the developing world walking with us. We need to be transformed.
We have communities all around the world, the poorest communities in the world, praying for churches and people in the US and in Europe and in Asia. It's not just about receiving stuff.
The transformative journey happens both ways. So I want to invite you to walk with us to help bring transformation to others and to also be open to receive transformation yourself.
It is a great adventure in living out the gospel in ways that will change you and your family forever.